Hello everyone. This is the Professor Kim from Mechatronics Engineering. Unfortunately, we're going to start our lectures through the online matter. So I'm recording this lecture for you, of hopefully first of 2 weeks. So let's go over the syllabus for the class first. The course name is Microsystem Design or MEMS Design, that you may be more familiar with the MEMS rather than microsystem. My office location is located at the engineering building number 1, and room number is G203, and then you see my email address over here. Um, to kind of a best have the best opportunity in communication. I always enjoy the communication just after the class. Or you have any concern, questions on homework and anything to discuss, then you can send email um, to the address, so I can kind of take a look into and then think about it and email back to you. Um, I don't have any formal office hours, so just email is the best way to communicate with me. Our meeting day is on every Tuesday to 2 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then I think the lecture places is in the same building, the number C209. That if the lecture location is changed, then I'll let you know. In this class, we'll focus on the design aspect of microsystem or sense or MEMS. So the topic will cover kind of a general overview of the working principle of various microsystems, and then how to analyze the systems, and then we will discuss some case studies at the end of semester. So to maximize the experience of the course material, um, I will do lecture. Generally probably three quarter of the lecture hours, overall, and then we will move to the computer labs uh, in the same building to deal with some simulations for example, in COMSOL. And then I'll let you guys do some term project and then do presentation at the end of semester. So in that chance, I'll let you guys kind of do your own research based on the what you learn from this class. So required knowledge level is mathematics, and the physics is a college level required. And other than that, you should be okay. Okay, the descriptions, cost component is shown here. So it's kind of I kind of summarize from the textbook, but sometimes I may jump in around. But the overall shape looks like this. I'm talking about kind of design procedure, and then because we deal with many different systems like in mechanical systems or electrical systems, sometimes the materials. For each domain, I will go over some working principles. Some area you may be familiar with in, some other area you may be not, but I try to go over together. And then I will we'll deal with the design and fabrication and testing. So probably some of you are already familiar with the chip fabrication procedure. So we borrow the technology from the microchip fabrication technology, but we have also unique the MEMS also unique fabrication process called the micro machining. So we'll go over together the micro machining and then the chip fabrication procedure together. And then we talk about some material selection, and then we do some analysis in computer lab. Um, including some applications. And then at the end of the semester, we'll deal with mechanical devices and some optical devices for case studies. Okay. And then the other part of the coursework, and I let you guys do some paper survey, paper review, and then the term project as well, as I said. Okay. And then the term project actually has 3 phases, and at each phase is summarized in below. I'm going to ask a proposal for each team regarding the microsystem, and then at the page 2, you kind of do some interim design report to me. In that interim design report, you should show some progress in your proposal, and then in page 3 you should submit a formal final report, and then you do presentation at the last day of the class. So in that final report, I expect some detailed analysis results, and then the viable publication procedure should be described in the report. Regarding grading policy, the homework assignment is 20%, and then I'll give you a paper review report, and that's individual report, that's 10%. And then term project is 30%. So regarding the term project, I want to work only 2 people together as a team. Right now, only 5 people registered, so we'll see whether there is more people coming in. Otherwise, we'll think about either 2 to 3 people rather than the 1 people working alone. So that's 30% term project. And then you're going to have only 1 exam, that final exam, at the last day of the class. But this is a take-home exam that I'm going to give you exam, and then you have given like 1 or 2 days to finish, and then you can email me back the solution to me. So that's kind of a way that I would call it the take-home exam. Okay, the required textbook is Microsystem Design, written by the Professor Centuria at MIT. I have been using this textbook, and I think this is a quite good book for the design aspect of a microsystem. So I have some extra copies in my office, so I can loan a few of you. So I believe some PDF file may be available. So we'll talk about this in classroom. Otherwise, you can see more information about the textbook at thescringo.com. Okay. Okay, the detailed lecture schedule shown below. So the overall, the whole 1 semester is scheduled in 15 weeks, but I do not have any plan to do a lecture or anything exam in the last week of 15th week, so that's the June 23rd. So we sort of everything done in 14 weeks. So first 2 weeks I will provide online lecture material for you guys, and then we're gonna meet hopefully the March 31st at the classroom. So that's kind of overview that we're gonna do each of the schedule. Some in the middle of the class progress, and then we will stop by the computer lab and then do some modeling together. So in that case, maybe because of the availability of the computer lab is usually in the evening, so we may meet in the evening rather than in the given the date 2 to 5 p.m. But I'll let you know in advance that whether we're going to meet the next week either in the lecture room or in computer lab. We don't have any class and May 5th, that's a holiday. We may have some um, extra class for this, but we'll determine later. Okay, but each there are some due days scheduled in each of the schedule. Like your paper survey is done should be submitted before the April 14, and your project proposal is due May 12, and then your interim report also is due June 2nd, and then your final project report should be submitted and then presented in June 16. Um, that's the one that you should keep in mind. Also, take-home exam will be given at the same day, June 16. Other than that, actually, each project, lecture materials, you will see some homeworks, and then in each homework, then I will let you know when is the due date. So, other than this paper survey and then project proposal, interim report, and then the final report, you also have some homeworks. Okay, so because of the way actually we upload this online material, I kind of cut about 25 minutes of lecture, so otherwise it's become too large to upload. So I may stop some point and then I continue at the other clip. So just be patient about this interruption. Okay. All right. I usually in course I do some survey to hear about your kind of experience. For example, in MATLAB or anything about the MEMS. So I will kind of email you guys asking kind of share with me who you are, and then what is your kind of level of familiar with in MATLAB and other FEM FEM softwares, or any experience in taking any MEMS relevant courses like a fabrication. So I want to hear more about your experience. Okay. And then in classroom, we're going to have a chance to introduce yourself for each, and then so we got to know each other, and then more familiar with in the class. So anyway, for this, regarding this, I send email. So until that time, you don't necessarily to email me back. Okay. Okay. So lecture 1, that's the chapter 1 of the class of the textbook. So in this introduction level, the author will share about his view about the MEMS, and then what is MEMS, and then what is the kind of definition. So so what the professor essentially pointed out in this section is so basically the starting point of a MEMS is MEMS stand for micro electromechanical systems, right? That's formerly used in United States and Asia. But in Europe, the people use more familiar with the called microsystems. But it doesn't matter either MEMS or microsystems, because they are called, they are pointing the same matter. So if you look at the history of MEMS or microsystems, people kind of think about the way that can we use IC, that's integrated circuit fabrication technology, to make non-electronic devices. That's, I believe, is 1960s. So I mean, and that from that time. Oh no! I'm sorry. I think it's starting on about 1980s, right there, 1980s. I think the professor Hoare, he was in the UC Berkeley. He is one of the pioneers starting the MEMS at the time, and then now he's in the Stanford University, I believe. So he and his group actually start applying IC fabrication technology to fabricate certain like some small mechanical system. So it's not electrical system, right? So and then they try to kind of demonstrate whether it's going to work or not. Okay, so that's kind of a starting point of this technology. Okay. And then in the MEMS, there are microstructures and sensors and actuators and the integrations. So that's kind of I mean that's kind of functions and then structure shape. So it's different from the IC, right? IC is more probably it's sensors, but no actuator, right? Actuator means that you have certain motion and you should generate certain motion, but in IC no motion, right? And then usually the IC fabrication, they have a very relatively small scale comparing the MEMS, because in mechanical structure you need a certain thickness of the structure necessary. That's comparing the IC, it's much thicker than the IC, right? So microstructure is different from the IC. Okay, and then we actually people working in MEMS, and they kind of integrate everything as a one system. Okay, so that's integration is also interesting part of the MEMS. All right, MEMS concept has grown to encompass many other types of small things, including thermal, magnetic, fluidic, and optical devices and system, with or without the moving parts. That's what the Professor Century are pointing out. So the MEMS is not necessary to be having a moving part inside. It could be non-moving part, right? For sensors, probably no non-moving part, right? But I mean, the characteristic of the MEMS is actually the MEMS deal with many different area, like a thermal, magnetic, fluidic, some electrical portion as well, and optical as well. So that's cover like most of the more principal, more general area comparing the IC. On down here, there are like 4 examples of the early MEMS devices. Is a inkjet printer head was popular. Probably right now is I don't know how many people using inkjet, but still inkjet printer is a head made out of the MEMS technology is still popular in inkjet printer. Also some actuator, electromagnetic or electrostatic or electric actuator is also available using the MEMS technology, and some chips for like healthcare. You drop the blood, and then they kind of separate between the component inside of the fluid. There are some portion that necessary to analyze or remove and then the people don't analyze. So those are some microfluidic circuits available to do that, and then they pump in and out those components, and then to analyze it using the either optical way to do it or other ways to do it. So usually these kind of like a chip is integrated with a certain other electrical system that to integrate in analysis tool. So that's one of the example. Also now it's not it is used for projectors, right? So digital micrometers displays was once it was popular for some projection TV runs. And now you normally use the projectors for like in your presentation, right? Now it's very small size projector is available, but before this, if you kind of Google it, and then you see like a huge projector was available and why wasn't in graduate students? There is optical, there is bulb, and then there is like a mirror, and then there is a projector that's really bulky size, about, let's say, what is a good size for that? About, let's say, computer size, computer monitor size. That's about the size of the projector at the time. But by this MEMS micrometer display, now the projector has become a very small scale. Okay. Well, I know it's now is people have a kind of argument whether it's MEMS is going down or going up, but it was not exciting than before. But still, people try to push the technology to put some commercial product in the market, like so some vaccine needle that's with in tiny needle, people do not necessarily to have felt any pain during the vaccination. So those kind of micro needles are already commercially available. So that's good for some patients that regularly have an injection, right? So that's the kind of lifestyle is really changed. Okay, and then the dose of those materials and then the drug also can be controllable. Integration with some pump, and then that's not necessary to release those drugs at once, right? It could be released 24 hours gradually, like for example. That's also possible. What this is I have copy from the Wired, and then I think this is maybe it's 15 years old cover. I don't see any months and date here, but it was once at the time was like a very surprisingly important because for this this guy is partially blind, but by using it's a photo detector array, right? And then this image was kind of converted the electrical signal, and then this electrical signal was kind of provided to a certain part of the brain, so and then stimulate the image, the signal from image from the what is shown in the photo detector array. It was converted to the electrical signal to the brain, and then these partially blind people kind of take a look into the what is out there, right? So those startup company, they are improving their resolution. So that's really amazing technology to let the people cannot see before, but now with this device, then the people can see what is out there, right? It's not really same as what we see through our naked ears, but somehow it's still variable. Even though the resolution is not the same as ours, but still their lifestyle is much better without before this device. Okay, so those kind of some exciting field is still we need a kind of top-notch MEMS technology to do that. Okay. All right. How about the MEMS market in 2009 and then beyond? I'm sorry, I didn't update this for a while, but I keep using it. So some portion of the MEMS was used in some consumer electronics and so on. So now some part is going up and some part is kind of steady. But the dominant part at the time was the consumer electronics and automotive. So back then, 2012 or between the 2012 and 15, actually the gaming like a Wii Wii, right? So WII, right? That's kind of a gaming tool that you need to shake your hands to play tennis or bowling. When you watch the screen through the TV, and then you are kind of your activity by your hands or your foot. That's kind of communicated through the console given by the gaming company. And then those interaction, right? In that device, you have the way to find out to catch the motion of the users, right? So there are many accelerators and gyroscope should be included in the gaming tool. So that's kind of their boom of that MEMS sensors, and then also cell phone. Nowadays, your cell phone have all the microphone is fabricated by MEMS technology. So that's another additional area. But automotive and pressure sensors, and then the navigation uh, sensors for to detect the timing for the airbag, and there are many accelerators and then gyroscope inside. So those technology is necessary for the car industry and then the consumer electronics. Okay. Let me stop over here and then let's continue.